This is our new facility in Burlington, Washington, and it's just loaded with all sorts of interesting things for you to see. And we have some great automobiles to show you also. 85 motorcycles on display. But we're here to take a look at this 1950 Dodge. We just got this 1950 Dodge Wayfarer in. And it's really a pretty damn nice car. Really straight. It looks good. I don't think I've even seen a dent in it. Of course, it looks like brand new paint on here. And the roof and everything all looks good. I really think that we ought to put wide whites on it, but we're not going to do that. We're trying to keep the price down on it. And if you like it, you could put wide whites on it and change the whole look of this car. The interior on this thing, it's new too. I mean, you can see all that. It's all been replaced. All looks good. The headliner, everything. Kind of a pretty dash in it. So it hasn't been used much. Look at there. I should have had that off there. Anyway, it starts good. The wipers work. Oop, that's the wrong one. They're vacuum, as you can see. So if you're outside in the rain, it'll do better. The horn does not work. The radio does not work. The defrost works, but the heater core is not hooked up, so you have that all going for it too. So you got a couple of things to work on. And watch this. How's that for closing? I love getting cars that the doors work real nice and easy on. And you can see everything looks good. You know, I felt it. I didn't even notice it. There's a little ding right there. And this has got the fluid drive, they call it. Safety lever right there. Now 6 volt, it's just all stock the way it is. The VIN is right here on this boss right there. So it's titled to that number there. It's not the body tag or anything else. The heater core must leak because they bypassed it. So I assume the heater core is bad. It needs a new heater core. Sorry about that. Anyway, you heard it run. It runs and drives great. This closes good. It must have had spotlights on here at one time or another because we got a, what else would it be? And it's got some pitting on the chrome here. It looks like these bumpers have been re-chromed. And but otherwise they're pretty good. You know, we haven't done anything with it. We washed it because it was dirty from sitting more than anything. So you can see all this side here is good. Oh, that was a piece of dirt. I thought there was a chip in the paint. And even up on top here, it's all good. This door, the same way. How's that for closing? I mean, you can see this. It's also got a tissue dispenser under there. So it's a deluxe model, I guess. And again, the windows, they all work good. And again, of course, how easy is that? But you look at this whole car, it's just nice. Now this rear bumper, to me, looks like it's original. I don't think it's been re-chromed. It's got some pitting and stuff on it. It just doesn't have the shine like the front one. And you got some pitting on here, on both sides. But it is a pretty damn nice little car. And look at the trunk in here. I mean, you can see that's all just been painted and it's clean. No spare tire. It's got a, I don't know that it works, but it's got a light in here, so when it, at night, probably have to have the headlights on and stuff to get it to work. Some of that stuff's that way. Anyway, get back in there. Oop. I pulled it out of there, but did I pull it out the right way? It should be this way. That's not right either. Anyway, maybe that's the way it goes. There, that's the way it's supposed to fit. You can see it's all clean and decent. Underside here is all good. You got a little bit of pitting on there and everything. And that's the car. I think you'll like it. It runs good and everything. I wish I could tell you more. I was going to take it out and drive it, but it's wet outside right now. So this is a fluid drive, and it's kind of interesting. So here we are, we're in low gear, and I'm going to take off and go, and I'm going to stop it without putting the clutch in. It'll sit there, and if it was level, you could just sit here, but we're downhill, so it would coast. Anyway, that's a fluid drive. I think it's, I don't know if Low's the only one you can do that in, but it's interesting. It took me a little while to feel comfortable with it. Whoop. You got people coming. I'm not touching the clutch. We're just sitting here. So, a bunch of cars coming. So here we go. You just take your foot off of it and start going. First time I did that with this thing, or before I did it, I thought there was something wrong with the clutch, because it's a long throw. It's not normal throw like a regular clutch. With it to see if it would work in high. I know it works in low. Oh. So you got to slow down and stop to shift it. underneath this 50 Dodge Wayfarer and look at the underside. And the first thing you're going to notice, about 70 years worth of dirt accumulation. It's never been cleaned that I can tell. It looks old. But I will tell you this, I don't see any rust or anything. Everything looks really good. All the way up in these fenders, that all looks good way up in there. I mean, everything, it's really a solid car. I'm impressed with how good this thing is. And it's kind of amazing. But you look on these leaf springs and stuff, and it's accumulated on here. It's hard. It's really hard, but I can pull it off. Look up there in the frame up there and stuff. It just caked on over the years. All the way, everywhere you go, but no rust. I mean, I've looked this thing over really well before, looking at it, and it's just solid and old dirt. Look at this, it's tailpipe. It still works just fine, but it's pretty old. I don't know how much longer it's going to last, but there's no holes in it or anything. And these floor pans all look good, solid all along here. The rockers out here, the drain vents are in there, just like it's supposed to be. Both sides are that way. All good. Somebody just put seat belts in this thing when they did the interior. In fact, I took it off, but there was a pair of vice grips still hanging on that one. I have no idea how long they've been on there. Can't be a super long time, but of course, this is your emergency brake. Goes around the drive shaft coming out of the transmission. You got all sorts of linkage here. This is the master cylinder right up in here. A lot of linkage on that. But again, you can look at all this over here. This has gotten folded up. You can look at that side, and that one's not been folded up. Hard to say how it happened. Maybe somebody put a jack in there at some time or another and lifted it off. But all this here is all good and solid. It's it's grody down here. You could clean it if you wanted. But who's going to look underneath it anyway? I'm not going to lift it up again and look underneath. And I'm not going to clean it. It's not a show car. It's got a lot of good rubber on the tires there, but they may be old. I don't know. We haven't looked at them from that standpoint. So everything you look at here, it all looks good. Looks like it had a new fuel pump on there, but I don't know that for sure, but it looks like it might. So I think you'll find that this is a really good old solid car. It runs good. Just watch the video. I'm driving it down the freeway and everything. I hope you enjoyed this short video of this Dodge Wayfarer. It's a clean car. It runs and drives great. Draeger's International, classic sales in Burlington, Washington.